Hello, welcome back to Global. I'm Rajesh Merchandani. Toilets, not temples. That was the slogan that Narendra Modi used when he was elected as India's Prime Minister earlier this year. The World Health Organization says that more than 500 million Indians don't have access to adequate sanitation. They're left with no choice but to use, say, the side of railway tracks or open fields when they need to go. So Mr. Modi promised 5 million new toilets in his first 100 days. That's roughly one toilet being built every second. Yogita Limai has been finding out why it's not money but space that's making that a tough target.
A sight so common in India, it rarely even raises eyebrows here. Millions of people across the country simply have no choice but to relieve themselves out in the open. Come rain or sunshine, Shiv Naresh fills up a bottle of water and embarks on his daily morning routine.
There are so many people living here and just one toilet. We'd be waiting more than an hour if we try to use that. So most of us from this locality just go out near the banks of the river.
In India's slums, homes don't have individual toilets because pipes connecting to sewers have not been laid in these narrow alleys. Even shared toilets are sorely insufficient and rarely clean. In Mumbai alone, it's estimated about 22,000 more communal toilets are needed, with that number growing because of the huge influx of people. But authorities say their choices are limited.
Funding is not a major issue because there are agencies or even corporations like Mumbai Municipal Corporation. We can cater through our funds, but the bigger problem that is coming up now is that we are not able to figure out land for situating a public toilet, because most of the lands are occupied by slums, and so you have to demolish a slum to make a public toilet. So the only alternative now left is to demolish and reconstruct an existing toilet by adding on new toilet seats.
Officials have told me the situation is so grim that some people actually take cheap medicines to try and reduce the number of times they need to use the toilet. And when they do go, there's the risk of contracting diseases like diarrhea and hepatitis because conditions can be so terrible. But this is far from being just an urban problem. It's as bad, if not worse, in rural areas. 2/3 of India's people live in villages, and most of them use fields as toilets. To avoid being seen, rural women usually venture out only in the dark, which puts them at risk of sexual attacks. In these areas, it's not the availability of land that's a major issue. It's more a matter of people's attitudes and traditions. So the government's job won't end at building toilets. Its main challenge will be getting people to use them. Yogita Limai, BBC News, Mumbai.
Well, let's speak to Dr. Bindeshwar Pathak, who's the founder of the Sulabh Sanitation, and he's in our Delhi studio. Dr. Pathak, thanks very much for speaking with us. Our reporter, Yogita Limai, was just commenting in her report there that it's not the money, it's India's finding the space, it's actually about changing attitudes. And I'm wondering, why is sanitation such a big problem in India? Why do people not understand about going to the toilet?
No, people understand the problems, and I do not agree.
So what do you think? Why is sanitation then such a big problem still in India? It's a modern country, it's a big economy.
No, because no national policy or city policy has been decided yet, and they are working haphazard manner. So therefore, if you decide to find out the solutions are there, and we can build toilets in slum areas. I worked in this area for more than 4 decades.
But what I don't understand why there's been no national policy. Why no city policy? Why no national policy? Why are policymakers not taking this on?
Yes, you are right. Because the policymakers, I mean the government, did not take it seriously. They took it. I cannot say they did not. But the way the present Prime Minister is talking about, that they did not do it. So what happened, that it left on the corporations, municipalities only to act upon. And therefore, if you see, the state governments are not very serious about the subject. Central government little bit more serious. So therefore, if you, what the Prime Minister has said right now, that this is possible to build toilets in all the houses, in all the slums, can be kept maintained, but how this can be done, we have the solutions. If they want, we can give them solutions, that can be done.
And there's also the question of, if you build the toilets, you have to educate people and persuade them that they should actually use them. Now, what do you think could be done about that?
Yes, you are right, 100%, because the building toilets should be coupled with motivation, education, communication, and to make them aware of, and then implementation, maintenance and follow-up. And after building toilets, nobody goes to see what is happening there. So this is most important, what you said, that on the one hand, they should make aware of, motivate them to have toilets, implement them, and finally, and that of good quality toilets, and then finally to see whether functioning, not functional. What happens? Women, they leave their clothes of menstruation. Children put some balls and some stones inside the toilet, and it becomes non-functional.
Okay. Dr. Pathak, we're going to have to leave it there, but I appreciate you joining us and speaking with us about that very interesting and important topic in India. Plenty more on Global ahead.